he is making it known that he would never run for president because he is not qualified.
Yeah,
I
he
didn't
did
even
say that again.
I didn't know that this was on the board personally. I didn't know that this was on the board, but apparently it was on the board that there was speculation as to the validity of Stephen A. Smith as a viable candidate for president. So he's saying that it's a non-subject because he ain't qualified and it wouldn't happen. And so he's speaking on that. So this says Stephen A. Smith finally gives firm answer on whether he'll run for president. Again, I did not know that this was on the board. Um, Stephen A. Smith says he's not interested in running in the 2028 presidential election. Speaking with TMZ about the trending idea, the longtime ESPN host said he loves talking about politics but isn't qualified for an official run for office. The update comes after the New Yorker's J. Caspian Kang ran a piece titled Stephen A. Smith for President last week. I ain't trying to run for office or anything like that. I love talking politics. I love talking about things, not just sports. If the American people want to sit up there and say, yo, we want Stephen A to run, I'm not going to be mad at that, Smith told TMZ. I don't know what the hell they're thinking. I ain't qualified, but if you want to go ahead and entertain it, you can go ahead and entertain it. He further noted that Donald Trump's success has proven anybody can be president. He's inspired all of us because if he can be president, a lot of us can be president. So I'm not going to play the video because it's a TMZ video. And
Yeah, you know,
TMZ are a bunch of low life scumbags who want to copyright flag all little videos just because of their little jingle sound. Um, Following his interview with TMZ, it appears Smith won't actually be campaigning, but that hasn't stopped him from sharing his opinion on the Democratic Party numerous times as of late. Speaking with the New Yorker for Jay Caspian Kang's aforementioned piece, Smith called for a cleansing of the party. I'm qualified to be a hellraiser, Smith told the outlet. I'm going to bring the rain. Nobody is safe with me. Not a Democrat, not a Republican. No one. And I can only imagine Stephen A. Smith doing his Stephen A. Smith voice when he said that. If Smith did entertain a run, early polling suggests he could be quite successful. A McLaughlin and Associates poll from earlier this month placed him in a similar range to that of former VP candidate Tim Walz and Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro. He reacted to the poll with a meme on X, spurring further gossip about the possibility of him running. So, what do you think about this? What do you think about Stephen A. Smith and his, you know, rebuttal to the idea that he run for president? He loves talking politics, but he ain't qualified. He is only qualified to be a hellraiser and call everybody out.
I mean, I think that I didn't hear about this either until probably like a couple weeks ago. Just the idea of Stephen A. having the mindset of running, there's rumors of that. So to hear that he's denying those claims, I don't know where they came from. I don't know if this was like a way of testing the waters to see how people would feel about it or whatever, but it seems like he's polling nicely, which speaks to what people think about what president should be. And now that's done. I mean, it was already a popularity contest, but now it's really going to turn into a popularity contest. I think what's going on right now in our country, man, is that I think, the people that's behind the curtains, I think they really are looking for that next splash play. Trump was a splash play, whether people like it or not. Trump really literally embodies any publicity is good publicity, and he knows how to make publicity. He knows how to stir stuff up. He knows how to get into other people's spirit just by saying one thing, and then those people go crazy. So Donald Trump has everything it takes from a media front-facing standpoint in order to be president of the United States. And so what they're going to start looking for now is the next person that can galvanize people, get people emotionally invested, people that can sway opinions and stuff like that. So Stephen A. Smith fits in that little class. He has the older people, he has the people that are in our bracket, and he's even got the younger people because everybody knows who Stephen A. Smith is. He's been on television damn near every day or the radio every day for the last 20 or so years. So a lot of people are very familiar with him, his takes. He's skated very well. He played the media game very well when it comes to, rising to the top and holding that position and demanding big money and actually getting it and all that stuff. So he fits a lot of good. He checks a lot of boxes. All right. So let's not forget the fact that he's black. All right. So that's a box that also gets checked when it comes to. Now I know they're doing away with a lot of DEI stuff, but to have a black man in an office and all of those good things, that's also a good look as well. But Stephen A. is not married. All right. He doesn't have any kids, as far as I'm concerned.
Yes, he does.
He's got kids.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, he's not currently married.
Right.
All right. Which is kind of like not a thing. I don't know what makes him not qualified. I don't know if he didn't go to the right clubs and organizations, or if he was born in Japan. I don't know what his story is. Okay. I don't know why he wouldn't qualify for president. But what he's probably saying there is, hey, man, I'm not in the club enough to be in there. Maybe that's what he's getting at. But all in all, I think that what's going to be happening from here going forward, whenever we're looking at presidential candidates, we're going to be looking at people that can move people, can galvanize people, whether it's through actually convincing people that they can get something done, or just stirring up enough emotion, whether it's frustration, joy, or hope, some people might say, that can get people emotionally invested in America. I think that's what presidential candidates have become. I don't think it's no more about policy. I don't think it's no more about intellect. I think it's about being the right front-facing person for whoever's running the show behind the scenes. But what are your thoughts on Stephen A. Smith's declining and denying the fact that he's going to be running for president in 2028? What are your thoughts, bro?
Yeah, I agree with most of that. His claim that he is unqualified to run, to me, doesn't really hold water, because being political or being politically inclined or being knowledgeable of political policy, I don't think is a prerequisite for being a viable presidential candidate any longer. I don't think it matters. The current political climate in this country is either tell people how they're going to be able to make more money, or tug at their heartstrings by pulling on all of the right identity politics. Pulling on all the right identity politics strings. So, from that standpoint, as you suggested, I actually think the opposite of what he said. I believe that he could be viable because he would play the identity politics role very well. People are going to latch on to him, not because he knows what's best for his constituency or his community, but because people feel good about what he symbolizes. And there are two ways to become president in this country: make people feel good about what you symbolize, or tell people how they're going to fix the economy. See, the reason why Donald Trump was able to rise, the reasoning for his ascendancy, despite all of his bad qualities, everybody's saying that he sucks and he's a terrible person and he's a hater, yet he won anyway. And the reason why he won anyway is because everyday people in this country, not the political elites, not the ideologues, not all of these left-wing ivory tower smart people who went to all of these, not all of these left-leaning liberal democratic voting smart people who went to the Ivy League colleges and universities and know better than everybody else. Despite what they thought, he was able to explain to the 70% of the people who work for a living every day that he'll fix the economy and put more money in their pocket. That superseded everything for a lot of people. Whether you agree that he is the right, whether you agree with him that he'll do it or not, whether you agree with the logic or the reasoning behind who's responsible for tanking the economy, is irrelevant at this point. The fact of the matter is, people believed him when, in terms of the electorate, people believed him when he said, hey, I can fix this economy and just go with me because I'll help get more money in your pockets and I'll reverse a lot of this stuff. People latched on to that because that's what people care about the most, either the economy or identity politics. He ain't really with the identity politics stuff, he's with the economy stuff. Stephen A. Smith, on the other hand, will probably be on the identity politics stuff. So if you're on the other end of that spectrum, he probably would make a viable candidate, because whether he wants his campaign to go in, theoretically, hypothetically, whether he would want his campaign to go in that direction or not, he'd have no say in the matter. People are going to take it there. People are going to take it to his race and
Right.
and his background and
Right.
his education, going to an HBCU
Right.
and
All
rising up through the ranks and yeah, people are going to, whether he wants that to happen or not, people are going to take it there.
right.
And some of his talking points throughout his career, especially over the last couple of years, being pro LGBTQ, being pro women, people are going to take it there. So him being pro identity politics is going to work in his favor. So I merely bring all of that up to say that even though he's right, he isn't qualified politically, but who is? That is no longer a prereq. It's not. Policy is no longer a prereq. Either tug at people's heartstrings in terms of identity politics, or show them or explain to them how you can make them more money. If you can effectively communicate either of those two things, you can be viable. And my guess is he'd be able to do the one on the left quite viably. So I wouldn't summarily dismiss the notion that he would be viable, because whether he's politically inclined or not, in my opinion, is irrelevant. And I don't say that because that's the right way to be. I say that facetiously because it's the wrong way to be, but it is where we are nevertheless.
Yeah, and I hear that, man, and I don't buy this though, in a sense that he's actually that he would actually do it. So I agree with him on that front. But I do know that he did want to get in the political arena uh, to make a shift from sports into politics. Now, I did know he wanted to do that. I also think he wanted to have, at least this is what I'm hearing, rumors about Stephen A. is that he also wanted to get into like late night talk. So whether he's either actually talking about politics or have a late night show, I think what he's trying to do is leverage his future away from just talking about LeBron James every day.
Yeah, I think what he tries to do is test
The
where,
waters.
yeah,
Mm-hmm,
yeah. So whenever he does any sort of new venture, he's
mm-hmm,
dipping his toe in a new pool and
mm-hmm,
just testing the temperature.
mm-hmm.
And if there's a good response to it, then he explores it further,
I agree,
for
and
sure.
I think that he would serve well in the political arena, just talking on it, just being a talking head, just bring that sports debating stuff to the political arena, which they already do their level of debates anyway. But it's boring as hell. And it's not like Stephen A is, the greatest thing since sliced bread when it comes to sports analysis, but he knows what the hell he's doing. And he knows how to get up under your skin, and he knows how to, make you watch his stuff. Not me, but clearly the ratings, yeah, the ratings are what they are because people are interested in what Stephen A. Smith has to say, you know. And I ain't gonna lie, some of his little clip farming that he finds his way doing, it finds its way on our platform because he knows how to get under people's skin. He knows how to say something that make people want to talk about it later. So in the realm of politics, I think he'll do just fine in there as well. And I do think he needs to get off of sports. So sports is, I mean, I don't know, man. The NFL is still NFLing, but sports as a whole is dying off. And I feel like these sports networks are finding new ways to talk about, deal with sports. And I think they do want to get away from these dinosaurs that's pulling in so much money. So yeah, I think it'd be best for Stephen A to find a new lane. I wouldn't mind seeing him talk about politics a little bit more
He
because
does. He actually, I don't know how much you have paid attention to his actual, like, his YouTube show,
Mhm.
but he does a fair amount of politics on his show.
Yeah, and this past election, man, he was getting busy with it. He
Yeah.
was saying a lot of stuff, and I think that was him testing the waters, trying to venture out. I'm more than just somebody that I'm more than a Skip Bayless. All right. I can talk about other things. And he did well. still a gas bag, but he was still gas bagging in a interesting way. I still wanted to hear his goofy takes. So I think he'll do good over there and just political talking head thing, not so much as an actual politician. So we'll see what's going on. When you're dealing with TMZ, these impromptu interviews, I don't know, I don't know how that go, but I don't know if he called them in or you never know with these things, bro, with these celebrity people and stuff. But I think this is not him campaigning to be a president. I think this is him campaigning to be in a new talking role as I'm going to be talking about politics now. Because if I'm sitting here doing it, I'm going to be talking about, I'm not going to like it. I'm going to be hold the Democrats and Republicans feet to the fire. I'm going to hold them responsible. This was this ad. This was this ad. I love the brother. I really sincerely love the brother. Donald Trump, I love it. I love everything he does. But at the same time, I got to be honest. All that stuff. Yeah, man. He'll do good at that, man. He'll keep people engaged. I'll tell you that, man.
Yeah. No, I do think that he's trying to experiment with how he's going to, become more of a media personality overall, as opposed to just being somebody who exists within the context of sports. I definitely do think that he's looking into how he can branch out. I wouldn't be shocked if 5-10 years from now, if Stephen A. Smith is hosting one of those shows like the Tonight Show or something, like the show, like what's those guys' names? The Tonight Show, the shows that are on the late night talk shows that's on those networks,
like
Letterman and all of that. Yeah. I don't think
Kimmel.
There you go, Kimmel. Yeah, stuff like that. I think Stephen A. Smith is trying to be a generalist. I think he's trying to figure out the best, most effective way to be a generalist while still leveraging sports talk to make as much money as he can over there on that side too. But I mean, I really do feel like politics at this point is less about policy and it's less about credentials, and it's just more about who's the effective communicator.
Yeah.
And like Stephen A. Smith is an effective communicator, whether you appreciate his various views or his gas baggy nature. He is nevertheless someone who is effective at being a professional communicator. And I think that is like a baseline fundamental prerequisite for being somebody who might be viable in the political space. So I can't completely dismiss it because he can just hire a team who knows about policy and they can tell him what's going on with what. But his job is going to be to talk on that microphone every chance he gets.
Exactly.
And that part he can figure out. He'll be able to maneuver that part. So I just don't dismiss it. And hey, listen, for people out there who are uncomfortable with the idea, you have no one to blame but yourselves for this. We as people have allowed it to devolve into this catastrophe where no one really cares about politics and everybody is just overly concerned with symbolism. The minute that we decided that symbolism was most important when it came to political candidates, that's when policy fell by the wayside. So it is what it is. He definitely checks all of those boxes. And if Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson can be entertained as a candidate, so can he.
Man, I forgot about that. We covered that last year.
Yeah, we did. So it's like, yeah, I hear you on the fact that he's not married. That could be a roadblock, but I mean, hey, he can just get married to somebody at some point.
Right, at some point. That's what I'm saying. At some point, none of that stuff's gonna matter.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. I feel like all of these historical prerequisites are slowly but surely going away. And pretty soon we can have, agnostic, atheists, non-religious,
a red pill president.
Yeah, you can have single red pill agnostic or atheist people being presidential candidates, and no one's gonna blink an eye.
I don't know if I want to know how that go, man. That might be kind of crazy, bro. It might actually be a good thing. Who knows, bro?
Like we talk about this sometimes, man. Like all I know is what has been going on ain't working. So I'm not opposed to any sort of change just to see what would happen. Because so far, what has been happening hasn't really worked. It's worked for a select few, it's worked for maybe 5-10%, but it ain't worked for the majority. It hasn't been working for 70-75% of us. So because it, for the last 60 years, what's been happening hasn't been working. I'm amenable to any kind of change just to see if it could work. Because change sometimes is good. It may feel uncomfortable and radical at times, but you just want to stay in the same situation of just rehashing the same old strategies and none of it working and just continuing to cement the status quo. That doesn't work either. So, but go figure. I don't know about politics, just like Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah, man, we'll see what happens with this stuff, man. I did appreciate his political commentary during the last election. It was just interesting hearing somebody else talk about these types of things. Some of his stuff had holes in it, but that's Stephen A. Smith for you, man. He's good at what he does. Even though there's a lot of things that when he's saying them, I'm like, I don't agree with that. But like you said, he's an effective communicator. He's good at putting it down, and a lot of people eat it up. So I think that the political game needs him. Sports is just, I don't know, bro. And we'll get about that, I guess, in the next topic, bro. But sports is just not the same for me, man. The dopamine rushes I used to get, I don't get them no more, man. Am I getting old? What's happening? But Stephen A, bro, welcome to the political game, bro. I'll be interested in watching it.
Trust me, bro. I have gotten myself into plenty rooms that I didn't belong in because I had a good talk game. It's amazing what you can gain access to if you have the gift of gab. So he has the gift of gab that can get you into a lot of rooms that you otherwise wouldn't be able to get into. We've touched on that on this channel before in various other topics, but good social skills is a very powerful tool to have, and it's not a skill that everyone has. It isn't. Not everyone has good social skills. And if you are an effective communicator and you have good social skills, it's pretty amazing. It's pretty remarkable what can happen.
Yeah, 100. So I guess Stephen A. Smith, not in 2028, but maybe 2032. Hey.
No, we'll see.
Hey, would y'all vote for Stephen A. Smith if he became president? I know I wouldn't. But would y'all vote for Stephen A? Let me know down in the comment section. I'd be interested.
Well, you don't vote. So
well, that's what I'm saying. That's why I wouldn't vote for it. Because at that point, he'll be officially compromised in my book. So I wouldn't be voting for him. But hey, that's not, I'm not left or right. I'm not who to who, you know what I'm saying? But if there's people out there that do vote, man, let me know. Stephen A. Because I remember a couple years ago, man, when we was talking about Kanye, you know what I'm saying? I said I would have voted for Kanye. I don't think I would do that anymore. I wouldn't vote for Kanye no more. A couple years ago, I was just joking around, saying, "Hell yeah, I'll do that." It'd be the craziest thing ever. I think it would literally be the craziest thing ever if Kanye won. So I don't think anybody should be president. But Stephen A, would y'all vote for me? Let him know. I'd love to hear that.
Yeah. Interesting to see what people got to say about that one.